Morning. Time for part 2 of the exercises. Get rid of the crutches before you sit down. Operated leg out. And then you can sit. Hello. Welcome to Grey Matters and to part 2 of the exercise regime post knee op. Now, there's been a lot of people have been commenting and saying thank you for the information. It's helped to demystify it a bit. I know there's obviously a lot of people out there that are due to have this operation or may have just had it, and the exercises are such a vital part of recovery, and some people have been worried about it, and I don't think it's been helped by some of the comments where people have gone into great detail of what went wrong with their operations. What goes wrong in an operation is nothing to do with the knee recovery, because 90% of people don't have any issues with the operation, and the recovery is virtually the same for everybody in terms of what you have to do to get through the recovery, and the physio is a vital part of that. So rather than look at things that go wrong and worry people, what we're trying to do, or what I'm trying to do, is just to let you see firsthand what the physio is like. Yes, it's painful. And yes, the temptation is, when you can't do something because it hurts too much, to abandon it. But you mustn't. You know, you saw in the last video, if you watched it, there was one where I couldn't get my leg off the bed at all for the first couple of attempts, and the pain was quite excruciating. But after 4 attempts or whatever, I could get it off the bed, you know, a fair amount, and after 5 or 6, I could get it off even higher. And it happens the same way with that particular exercise every time, because the body has to adjust to the fact that your leg actually is really very, very heavy. There are exercises here that I really wish I didn't have to do, because they do hurt. But you need to know exactly what sort of level of pain you can expect. We're all going to be slightly different on that. Some people have got a much better pain threshold than others. And it's not all doom and gloom, because there is a huge sense of achievement. Even when you finish the exercises, you get your leg up, you get your ice pack on, and think, God, that hurt, but I did it. And there's this mental attitude thing as well, because if you give up with the exercises, your mental attitude is going to nosedive, and you're going to feel that you're not getting better. You never will get better. You're then going to have a physio follow up, and you get told off because you haven't been doing the exercises. And as I said in the previous video, I know someone that had both knees done, didn't really bother with the exercises, and they can hardly walk. And yet these replacement knees are a revelation. I've had one on my left knee, now I have one on my right, and I know how well the left knee went. So I'm confident that the right knee will be the same. So what we're looking at is the reality of the exercises. Okay, you can expect them to hurt, but you know, I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm still ticking over, and it's just something you'll go through. Now, the exercises today are more of the 3 times a day exercises. They work on different muscles, different areas, to try and strengthen it. But there's a couple of these exercises where actually there isn't really any pain. And someone said to me, there was a temptation when they had that to abandon that exercise because they didn't think it was doing any good, because it wasn't hurting. The fact is, it was operating on muscles that have been weakened by the operation, but don't actually impinge on the knee itself. So it's not going to hurt, but those muscles have got to be improved upon to help you walk. Now, what we're going to look at later on in the recovery, and this may be some weeks ahead, depending how long you've had your bad knee, you're going to be limping. And my last knee, it was 18 months before I got the operation, and the limp was built well and truly into my gait. And the only way you can get rid of a limp really is to walk it out. And you can't do that really on pavements, because you've got driveways and ups and downs and manhole covers, and you need a constant flat surface. The only way really to do that is on a walking machine, a running machine, without running. So you I bought a running machine now, a treadmill, specifically for this rehab, because I did it last time at a gym. This time I'm going to do it at home. I can be able to do it every day. You get a nice constant walking surface, and you can pace yourself out. You can stand erect, shoulders back, and you can walk out that limb and get rid of it completely. Right? But really, treadmill's the only way to do it. We'll look at that in the future. Okay, I'm going to set myself up, set the camera up, and we'll have a look at these new exercises. We're all set up now for the first of the exercises. Sturdy chair with the back to hang on to, and these are just simple heel raises, okay, like this, 10 times. Don't need to do it with the slippers on if you don't want to, and it doesn't hurt. So the temptation is to think, well, what's it doing? Well, it is working the hamstrings at the back of the calf, and it's working ankles, which is important because everything gets stiff. And if you look at my foot, I'll show you later, it is swollen around the ankle. So you do need to keep that mobile, okay? Which is another reason why every hour we do that exercise with the feet, just to keep the ankles going, keeps the blood circulating, helps to reduce the inflammation. So we do that 10 times. Doesn't feel like much, and it doesn't really hurt, but it's worth doing. Okay, the next one is like a mini squat. From here, you bend your knees. You don't just bend your knees, you've got to stick your bottom out as well. So it's down as far as you go. You can feel the burn. Actually, that's further than I got yesterday. And you do that 10 times. Stick your bottom out as you go down. Stand up, tuck your bottom in again. Down. Back up. And that is really beginning to burn on that knee. But as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. These are the two of the least painful of these standing chair exercises. Stick your bottom out. I find it actually does help to give yourself the instructions as you're doing it, because otherwise you forget sometimes to stick your bottom out and tuck it back in again when you come up. It's similar to using the crutches. Crutches are a pain in the backside. They get everywhere, they tangle in everything, and there are safety rules to bear in mind with crutches, such as not trying to stand up or sit down when you're wearing them, because if you slip, trip or fall, you can break your arms quite easily, or a wrist. Okay, so call it down, that one. And the other thing to remind myself is with the crutch is that when I step forward with it, bring that leg up, you have to lock that leg back. Lock it back. You need to lock it back so it's level with your other leg. That will take a bit of time to get that locked back. Okay, but if you don't, you're going to be putting too much pressure on the knee when it doesn't need it. Okay, the next exercise is sitting down. Now this is one of the exercises I'm supposed to do hourly, or two of the exercises I'm supposed to do hourly, followed by an ice pack. And these ones do hurt. Cannot tell a lie. This knee, this is the operated knee. I've got it nearest you so you can see it better. Basically, you have to pull it back as far as you can. And again, that's probably further than I've been able to do it without additional help. And the additional help you can give yourself is to just tuck your good leg in front and just push that knee back a little bit more. And that really friggin' hurts. However, trying to get your leg to go forward can sometimes be as painful. So again, if you could get your foot in behind your knee and help push it forward, that's probably going to help you a bit. So this I have to do 10 times as well. Second one. That is really sort of burning down the actual site of the wound than it would. It's got sutures and staples in there. This is number 3. You see it's coming back a little bit further each time with the, as it's beginning to loosen up a bit. You'll find if you've been sitting down, I think I mentioned this yesterday, if you've been sitting down with your legs up, when you come to bend your legs, it's difficult, they're stiff and painful. Similarly, if you're sitting with your legs bent and then you try and straighten them, they're stiff and painful. So these exercises will help you to transition between sitting, standing, bending, straight, that kind of thing. Jesus. Right, I've lost count. It must be about 5, I guess. And with me, it's just when it gets to the vertical, and then to go past the vertical to straighten out, that picking hurts. Okay, so 7, 8. It's quite useful to use your good leg as a marker to show how far you want to go back and get back that far, and I'm doing that at the moment. I think that's 9 and 10. Oh, nearly said the F word. Fiddlesticks. Okay, so the next one is the leg raise. Now, in the past, on the bed, I've had various supports and things under the knee to do the leg raise. This is from the sort of bent position, straight up in the air, okay? And straighten it as much as you can. That's 1, 2, 3. Now, similar to the exercise on the bed when I had to lift it with the roll under my leg, the pain tends to be across the muscle here at the top of the wound more than it is on the wound itself. So presumably that means it's doing some good. 4. Don't think I'm supposed to hold that up. Let me just check. I keep these with me all the time because I can never remember. No, it doesn't say I've got to hold it up for 5 seconds because I feel like I should do. But I will check with the physio when I see her next week. 8. Now, the important thing is that you don't let this pain put you off doing it. I can't emphasize that enough. Yes, it hurts. It's going to hurt. It's not like giving childbirth, as far as I'm aware. It's not like giving birth. Not that I've ever done it. But yes, it hurts. But don't let that put you off. You've got to go through it. Everyone else does it. There are thousands of people out there at the moment doing these exercises that have had knee replacements. You're going to be another one of them. Okay? Don't give up. Don't let it put you off. Right, next exercise. This is another one that stretches the knee. Just shut that door. This one, you bend your knee back. Now, the idea eventually is to get that knee to go at right angles. Okay? Like a good knee. At the moment, I can only get it that far. And it honestly doesn't feel as if I'm ever going to get it any further. Just need to pull up that compression stocking a bit because I can feel that cutting in the back. Okay, so you need to be able to get that up as high as you can. And that's as far as it goes. It's not that the pain is increasing. It increases a little bit when you get as far as you can. It's the fact that your knee actually won't go any higher than that. It's and if I'm standing and leaning down, of course, it does look like it's more horizontal. But when you're standing up, it's not getting up very high at all, about 6 inches off the floor, right? And compare that to your normal foot, okay? So we do 10 of those. I better finish them off, hadn't I? 8, 9, 10. I'm sure if my physio saw me doing some of these, she'd say I was doing them wrong, but I don't think I am. I need to give a big shout out to viewer Robert Bishop, who gave me some really good advice yesterday. And I'm getting loads of great advice, thank you, about shortcuts to take in terms of making life easier for us with the knee pain. But Robert came up with this suggestion. If you remember from yesterday's video, because of the way I had to film it, I had to get my good leg up onto the bed first, followed by my operated leg. Normally, your operated leg would go up there first. And he suggested that if you put your good leg under your operated leg, you could use that just to lift it up and put it on the bed. It worked brilliantly. Fantastic. So thank you, Robert. I shall be doing that in future whenever that's required. Appreciate the tip. There are a couple more exercises that I can't actually record because they're on the stairs, and our stairs have got a curve in them and no banister at the bottom, and it's very difficult to set up the camera in order to record those, so I can't really do them. But one is a lunge on the step, and the other is a hamstring stretch where you put your leg out and you lean back onto your leg and it's on the step. They pigging hurt. I could record me going ow ow, I suppose, but not a lot of point in that, is there? So those are the basic exercises that I'll do, that you'll do. You may do a slight variation of them, but as I say, vital. Please don't not do them, because you'll regret it. You really will. So that's it for now. The video diary will continue as things develop, so there may not be a video every day about this. I'm sure you'll be pleased to know. I will put a long form video covering everything that we've done at some point. In a few weeks' time, I'll show you the treadmill work when I'm allowed to do that. But in the meantime, coming up, I've had a response from the Department of Transport, DVLA, regarding Freedom of Information request, regarding the ages of drivers where defective eyesight was a contributory cause to their road collision. And it makes interesting reading. So I shall be not too far away, I hope. The only issue is I can't get up to the studio to record it properly because that's another flight of stairs up. Anyway, we'll do what we can. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for your comments. Keep them coming. It's good to know if the channel is helping you with your knee problem. It's still good to hear your experiences, even if they're not brilliant. We still like to know what's going on in your life. That's it for now. Thank you very much for joining us, and until the next time on Grey Matters, ouch. See you later. Bye for now.